What's up out there? Time for a update. Now, just a quick recap. I did branch off and try to work on a little bit of Righteous Fire because I found the Ivory Tower, I found the Coruscating Elixir, and I also have, I don't know if it's going to be useful or not, but this replica Dragon Fang Flight Onyx Amulet with +3 to level of all Righteous Fire gems. So I do have that, and I've got a decent start with it. But the problem that I'm running into is if I go into the passive tree in here, we've got this long jog of nothing but intelligence nodes up to here. And I don't remember where it is, but there's several more intelligence nodes into like a point over here. Maybe we go to cruel preparation. I'm not sure. But we basically wind down and around and somewhere around in all this. So basically, we're stacking up intelligence for a long while. There's like nothing else to do. So I kind of came to the realization that what I would need is some kind of bridge character to probably like level this through the campaign with, some kind of build that would be used through the campaign. I just took the guy's level 100 POB and started putting nodes in, and I see where my folly was with that, or where my mistake was. I kind of assumed we'd be able to turn Righteous Fire on at some point in here, but the problem that I'm running into, I can turn Righteous Fire on, but my health pretty much dissipates. And I was trying to figure out how this is supposed to work because Righteous Fire, I have it on here somewhere. I don't remember where I've got it. Oh, it's over here. So it burns your energy shield and life away. So I'm going to guess, I was trying to figure out how this was supposed to work with all the mana and everything. Now that I think back at the video that I've watched the guy put out, which is kind of converse if I didn't mention that already, he has like very low health, maybe 1 health or something like that, and then just a massive ton of energy shield, like, I don't know, 10 or 20,000 energy shield. So I'm going to guess that's what we're trying to do, is just really have a big stack of energy shield. And I've got some energy shield right now, but not enough. Like, by a long shot, not enough. So I think what I finally just came to the realization of is that this build really needs a transitional build, like something you go through the campaign with and then spin off and respec into the Righteous Fire build. I don't know what that is. I briefly tried following Pox's guide from previous leagues, but the problem is at level 17 you turn Righteous Fire on and never look back, basically. And where I'm at now, I'm at level 43, and it's kind of rough. I mean, it's going well, it's just going a little bit more, I'm not comfortable with it, let's just say that. The alternative is once I got to level 67, which were, 24 levels away. I thought about grinding in the campaign for a little bit. I thought about messing around in here, but I need to get this 6 linked. And in the process of doing that, it would cost me, I believe it's 1,500 of these Orbs of Fusing, and I could 6 link my Bone Shatter. So that's kind of where I got down to. I've built this fairly far along. I'm going to shelf this for now and come back to it later, but I need to sit down and focus on this. But let's talk about Bone Shatter. Okay, on the Bone Shatter front, we're going to run some delve here a little bit. On the Bone Shatter front, I still have my same axe. I've been trying to replace that. I've looked at, I don't know, do I have any of these left? Yeah, I still have some of them. So I looked at like working up this axe. I don't know, it says it's got more physical damage, but it doesn't have enough physical damage to replace this one. So it's just not happening. I did try that Venter's, whatever that thing is. It looks like the ring that looks like a single die or whatever. I replaced this ring slot with that. The problem is I didn't realize I had a really shitty Venter's ring. Like it had an 8% increased chance to get items or something like that. And then it had like a 30-some% reduced chance to get items. And for some reason, my brain didn't quite get that together, that it was bad. So I ran it for a little bit and I was like, this kind of sucks. I felt like my loot was going away, and it finally caught on, and I was like, all right, I got to take that off. But when I switched back, I ended up getting 2 of these plus 23% chaos. Well, I got a second one of these plus 23% chaos rings. So I worked this one up to, I think this was the original one I had, and this is a new one. So this one's got increased global physical damage also. So I was able to put that on this. I think the other ring I had didn't have a free slot for it or whatever. so I wasn't able to add it. I also replaced my gloves. I don't think these are... I replaced my gloves, my chest piece, and I think my boots. And this one ring. The helmet's still the same. I really need to replace this helmet badly. This thing is in desperate need of being replaced. I haven't found a helmet to replace it with yet. And the belt's the same. But the big thing with this chest piece is it's a 6 socket with 5 links. So what I did is I took this melee physical damage support gem and stuck it in here and leveled it up. So whenever I get this thing fully 6 socketed, we're going to be good to go. And I went and burned off all my jeweler's orbs and converted those over into orbs of fusing. I only need 1,000 more of these. So that's my new quest, is to work on that. So that's kind of where I've gotten with that. I've got all my flasks up to use when charges reach full. Well, this is used when adjacent, but they also gain charges when you're getting hit, gain 2 or 3 charges when you're getting hit. So those are kind of squared away now. And that's kind of the improvements that I've made. I've also made some other changes with what I'm doing. So as far as Atlas Tree, what did I say? So I was spec'd into bossing here for a little bit. I think I was up to the Conquered Conquerors, and I went up to Remnants of the Past and down to the Most Toys. So I ended up taking those nodes out, and I went into the Harbinger stuff here. So we've got 3 of them, I think. Yeah, these 3 here. I ended up picking up these 3 wheels here. Harbingers give you, I think, I got one. They give you ancient shards to get these ancient orbs. And part of Karn's build says to take these these amulets and try to run this ancient orb on it. You want to take a unique amulet, run this ancient orb to try to change it over to a different amulet. I need a bunch of these because what I'm trying to go for is the tainted one or something like that. There's a specific amulet that I'm trying to get. So I need to save these. I've been saving these up, and I know I could probably just change one of them over and over and over again, but I need to try to convert those to, it's a amulet that does poison. Basically, you heal off a poison or something like that. So I need to get some more of these ancient shards. And I was listening to watching somebody's YouTube video, and they were talking about Harbingers, and I was like, you know what? I need to go back to those because they give you all those shards, and that's how I had half a dozen of those things, the ancient ones or whatever those are, last time. So I thought, you know what? I better spec back into that. So I pulled out of the bossing stuff that I had and started going into this. And then I ended up pulling out of essence monsters. So one thing I've noticed is I've been pushing either tier 14 or so maps or into Delve. And in tier 14 maps, the essence monsters, once you boost up with the wildwood and all that, the essence monsters are pretty hard to tackle. So I've been skipping a lot of them. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, if I'm just skipping the content, then why am I spec'd into it wasting those nodes? So I ended up pulling out of that, and I ended up pulling out of Delirium. I've got a little bit more Delirium to come out of. You know what? We can take care of that right now. I wanted to do Delirium for the content that it has, but I think it's not the right time for me to be in Delirium because the other thing that I need to do is replace this belt, and they want you to have a Stygian Vice, and I was swimming in those things last league. I had, 20 or 30 of them and passed on a bunch more of them. So I got to thinking about it. Delirium's cool and all, but I really want Abyss because I need those Stygian Vices. So I have gone into this Abyss here and this Abyss here. So we've got whatever this big section of crap is up here, and then this one down here for a little bit more experience, a little bit more chance to get the Abyss. And there's a ton of these Abyss nodes, so I'm going to have to path over, figure out one I want to pick on here. And I got a couple of points I can path into it now. So basically, I've revamped this a little bit. And like I said, I'm running Delve, so I'm at level 94, and I've got 76% towards this next level. Basically, I'm down here at level depth of 166 in Delve. And I'm just kind of cruising around down here, trying to level up. So what I've been doing is going through tier 14 maps, running those. Those seem to be reasonably safe to where I don't have to worry about dying. I did die like once or something. It wasn't, it's not perfect, but it's much better than trying to run tier 16 maps. If all I'm doing is trying to run tier 16 maps, then I'm going to die a lot, especially if I amp it up with the wildwood, it gets to be really tough to stay alive. So I backed it down a notch and came in here. Well, I backed it down to tier 14 so that I could build up enough sulfite, whatever that stuff is, to come in here and do some delve down here. So that's kind of over the last, well, basically today I've kind of came up with this strategy. I messed around with that righteous fire stuff for a little while, and I spent a good chunk of time on that, I think yesterday maybe, and then, or the day before. Whenever I put that video out, I actually started working on the righteous fire portion of it. So in the meantime, I spent time doing mapping and stuff like that, just messing around in there, trying to get currency and all that. I had that crappy Venter's ring that was garbage, so I lost a little bit of stuff in there. You know, I spent time I shouldn't have on that thing. I don't know, it kind of is what it is. I got I got some sense today to not mess around with it. So that's when I switched a lot of things around. I backed out of the bossing, got into the harbingers, backed out of the delirium, and all that kind of stuff. I think that's a much better strategy. So what I'm actually working on right now, and I don't know exactly how far I want to take this, but I do want to level up. And I feel like the strategy of going into tier 14 maps to get the Nico missions built up, because I've fully spec'd into the Nico stuff in the Atlas tree. So basically finishing the map and stuff like that, or killing the boss, and I'm getting a ton of extra sulfite as I go. So it's not too bad to refill this thing up. And then if I come down here and do some leveling, like, this is decent XP. Much better XP than just, you know, whatever, I don't know. It seems fairly decent. Like, this seems to be a good combination for me. And it's content that I can do that's not terribly difficult. I don't seem to die, you know, occasionally, but it's not like it's not like every other, you know, stack of mobs is going to have a chance to kill me like it is in tier 16 maps. So I ultimately want to try to get at least one more level, which we're working on that right now. We're basically there. A couple hours tonight, I'll be there. It does take a tremendously long time to level up. So I don't know. I was on some low level maps too. So I was watching an Sergog video from a week ago, I think, and he was talking about certain maps to run and ones that are really good for, I don't know, like hunting mage bloods and crap like that, which I don't necessarily care about so much for this character. I mean, it'd be cool to have one just to say I got one, but basically what it came down to is going to Crimson Temple, Burial Chambers, Mesa, Jungle Valley, and Glacier. So I ended up running a bunch of Glacier maps earlier today. These are still the ones I have left over. And I got a massive stack of currency from just doing that. Like, I switched out that ring. I also forgot to point out, I did get this item rarity support, so I yanked out the flame dash that I had, tossed this thing in, and now I've got 64% increased rarity of items dropped on top of whatever the wildwood does. You know, I was looking at that, I'm like, I'm not using flame dash at all. Like, I barely use it. I'm just leap slamming everywhere. So there's no real point in having that just sitting there being taken up. And I ran across that gem the other day and I thought that was pretty cool. I don't remember how I saw it, but or what I was doing. I just came across that gem and I'm like, man, I didn't realize they had one for item rarity. So I thought I'd toss it on and see how it goes. I think it's helping out my currency and all that. I'd like to find another Venter's ring. That one sucked and I'd like to really replace it and really try it. What I did find out is that I can take that one, I think it's the left ring. I can actually remove the left ring. I don't need it for dex or int or anything like that. It's just there to be there. It is giving me an extra 23% chaos, so chaos resistance. I mean, I don't want to just lose that. But it is extra, you know what I mean? So I could actually remove that and put a magic find item on there and try to gain some extra magic find and get better currency. So, I mean, we can do the wildwood, we can do all that kind of stuff, but I can also put a ring on there that bumps it all up a little bit. So now I'm going to have to keep an eye out for those Ventress ring. I just tossed those things. I didn't really ever pay attention to them. I never cared about magic find, but since I'm trying to get more currency and trying to get higher quality currency, I figure it's probably a good idea to run that. And I've been running the Wildwood on every map. I just go into it, collect up some of the wisps, and then start running the map and run through it in there. I've watched a few people's videos talking about different strategies on how to use it and all that. So I've been trying to tinker around and see how that all goes. And really just that's kind of it. Just kind of cruising along. I'm trying to really keep alive as much as possible and pushing forward with content instead of dying and just, being frustrated or something. And that's kind of what led me to giving up on the essence monsters for the time being. I may come back to them at some point. I mean, I'm not. So the rub is I'm actually not even running essence monsters because I'm trying to level up and I'm trying to get currency and I'm doing all that other stuff. So because I'm skipping those things, like I said, I feel like it's a waste to be spec'd into them right now when I've got other things that are more demanding. And I think I want to focus on leveling and, stuff like that first. I want to focus on all the other stuff before I worry about, like, my build is doing fine. I don't have to worry about anything at the moment. Everything is going fairly smoothly. I'm just grabbing this crap to sell. I need currency. We'll go do this. This should be an interesting one. So I'm just trying to keep things not mediocre, but just midline right now. I don't want to really push content. I did some bossing. I fought like Drox or somebody up there, but I had already leveled up or lost all my XP anyway or something. I can't remember where I was at with it. So I did a little bit just to kind of push things forward, but it was at a point where, I don't know, it didn't matter if I died. I didn't care. So we gotta kill all this crap off before we continue forward. Alright, wrong button. Give it the gas. Get rid of all this crap out of here. One thing I really hate is this garbage that comes running in off the edge of the map. You gotta deal with it constantly. Alright, let's see what comes out of this. And I've been running stuff like this, Breach and all that, and just crazy amounts of stuff on the map, wherever I can. I've just been tossing as much Abyss, Breach. I started the lower level maps, the Glacier I've been running incursions on. Alright, that wasn't terribly exciting. Oh, we got some stuff. I see these guys are coming out of nowhere. Got room? I think I've already got that flask. We can grab this thing here. I've also tuned my filter so I only see stacks of currency 5 or higher of these kind here. I was just starting to see a ton of them. So I've got this thing dialed in. You know what? Let's go over here to lightning items. So I've got my filter fairly well dialed in. Like, I've got it exactly where I want it, and I've got two versions of it. As I was doing that Righteous Fire when I started doing one for leveling, and basically all the stuff that I had hide on, I set to show so I didn't miss it. So then I could pick up regular gear, and I like the idea of switching between two of them. And this one's got target focused for certain items, like the scale gear or whatever. Whatever this stuff is, scale gauntlets and dragon scale and stuff like that. I'm target farming level 85 of those. And I need to get a better helmet, so I've got the stuff that's armor and evasion ready to go for that. And those guys just got vaporized. Goodbye. Well, that went smooth. So yeah, these are very, very comfortable to run. What was this, lightning stuff? I don't really care about any of this, do I? Cold resist. 30% cold resist is not critical strike. I don't necessarily care about. All right, so we can go back to here and wrap this up. What are we at? So yeah, I need to upgrade that a little bit more. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm about to level up, and we're going to hit level 95. What I will be doing at level 95 is I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do at level 85 or 95, because I think this one here, I'm supposed to take, which one is it? 10% increased armor per red socket and 10% increased evasion per green socket on the main hand weapon. So I would get 60% armor onto this. I might take that and see how it goes. I mean, that's going to greatly increase my armor. We're going to go from 21,000 to, I don't know, what would that be? 30,000, something like that, maybe 25, 27,000. I don't know. It'll greatly increase the armor. But I'm kind of thinking I might want to do something with damage and maybe seek out some damage stuff. And then I'm supposed to path over into here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, something like that on here. But this is just maximizing your elemental resistance. I don't know if I care about that more than like damage. Like we could increase attack speed here. Like this one here, 12% increased attack speed. Physical damage leeches life, 60% increased total recovery. Like we could really boost up the life leech on that. I mean, we could certainly do here 30% increased physical damage with axes. Axes deal and 12% impalement. Here's another, like there's 14% physical damage, 14% physical damage, and 30%. So that's a lot of percentage damage we could go into on that too. I know there's some survivability I'd be missing out on, but I could like really increase my damage quite a bit in some of these places. So that's what I'm thinking about doing if I keep going past 95 is to just start dumping points into damage and get damage on the passive tree and worry about maybe the axe and stuff later. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't really found a better axe yet. So anyway, that is what I've got going on right now, and that is where we are. So that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.